Let me wake up. Okay, so for Leopard's build, you have a front line of swordsman, you have some spearmen on the side to anchor the position, so like state troops, they trade well into everything, they are like, okay, they will survive for a time. 3 units of pistoliers, especially on a map that is relatively large like that, are actually excellent against Beastmen. Beastmen will have a lot of trouble catching them, and even the units that are relatively expensive, like these Sentinels with great weapons, still have only 35 armor, so like pistoliers will shrek them. And so like they can be a big danger, and if you overchase, you run the risk in a lot of builds to have, for example, a flying Bo3 that will tear out your units if they get a bit away from the pack. So they can be a danger, especially there. So you have 3 units of pistoliers, then you have a cav contingent of 2 Emperor Knights, I think. Oh no, just, okay, 1 Emperor Knight, 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun, and 1 unit of Demigryph Guard with Halberd. The Demigryph will be the more heavy hitting ones. They have an excellent anti-large, they have a good charge bonus, good stat, a lot of health per entity. So, very good unit. You have a Jade Wizard, 3 units of, 2 units of archers, 2 or 3 units of archers. Oh, they are just plain crossbowmen, interesting. So going for something a bit less expensive than hunters, crossbowmen, 3 of them. And finally for the heroic contingent, and that's where this build is very interesting, you have a Jade Wizard with just Earthblood, and you have Volkmar, but Volkmar isn't on his like chariot, he's just on a horse. So basically he doesn't cause terror, and he doesn't have like, he's not invincible, and he doesn't have the same amount of HP. Basically he's not as much of a tank. So I understand that he's cheaper like that, but that's, I mean, it was to like add more units on other places, but Volkmar is such a tank, he's so strong, that it's interesting to not go for him.
That's a very interesting choice, because he loses the banishments that way too.
Yes, he also loses the banishment, yes. And also this one, also he has no terror in his army. And given the low leadership of the Beastmen, bringing like Horse Volkmar and having no terror at all is a bit of a mistake. So I think the rest of the build is extremely solid, but Volkmar on a horse?
Not sure you need Knights of the Blazing Sun.
Well,
they'll do the job.
Exactly, with their 70 charge bonus, they can break Sentinels almost in one charge, you know, if they get a clean charge. Now, for me, you have a front line of Ungor Spearman Herds, followed by 1 unit of Bestigor. Basically, the Bestigor is just they will cut through, they can kill most of the front line of the Empire almost by themselves. Like, they can kill 2 or 3 units of Swordman, and without breaking too much of a sweat. That's just to have at least 1 unit that will survive in the front line, because the younger Spearman Nerds won't. Then you have Kazrak as my leader. Kazrak the One-Eye, he has all his buffs. Yeah, he has all his buffs. I brought everything on him. He cost more than 2k, like that. Which is very expensive. But yeah, well, let's see if he can pay for himself in that battle. He's accompanying 2 units of Sentinels and 1 unit of Sentinels Great Weapons and 1 unit of Chaos Poison. This contingent with Kazrak's buffs can beat pretty much any cav in the game. Like 2 units of Knights will lose decisively to them. Even if there is a warrior priest supporting them, like this little group will do extremely fine. Especially if behind them there is 2 units of Wazar Gorhers that are hidden to support the cav engagement, a Brave Shaman of Beast with Manticore and Flock of Doom, and finally on the other side a group that I won't use for the beginning of the battle. It is actually a real tactical reserve. It's not that they are not forgotten, but the idea is you bring them somewhere around here, and when the enemy cav is really bothered and occupied by all of these troops, they'll have to send all their knights to deal with that, or to deal with that front line. Then you can go after crossbowman, artillery, whatever they have. We also have 2 units of harpies hidden on the sides. Same idea, the harpies are just to suicide themselves onto artillery, if there is any, so that our Sentinels and Razor Gores don't take too much damage on the approach. So let's see how these games plays out. I start advancing. At this point, I actually didn't see... Yeah, now I see the Pistoliers, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't catch this one because there is a unit of Spearmen, so I'm gonna try to send as much as I can on that one. And I actually didn't even see the Empire Knights. However, we are in the forest. The rest of the battle is just moving. I'm gonna bring these guys around. We are in the forest, so the Empire Knights have a lot of debuffs because they are large units in the forest. Beastmen don't have those. So I have actually a huge advantage in the forest. I disengage quickly just to add some more support, and now that the Razorgore herds are arriving, I'm gonna charge again. Some Knights of the Blazing Sun decide to try to dive in to protect their Empire Knights friends, and things aren't gonna go too well for them. This is a mistake as an Empire player. You don't want to engage your cav against Beastmen in the forest because you will lose. Equal troops will lose pretty decisively. Here we have the Bestigors, but since Volkmar isn't on his chariot, he can't do that much damage to them. So yeah, these Ungors, they are taking damage, but that's their role in life at the end of the day. One of them even managed to push through and get onto the crossbowmen, and now I'm gonna... Well, maybe I did forget to put them a bit too long, but here I have some hounds that are chasing the Pistoliers, trying to get onto the crossbowmen, and in this cav engagement they completely lost it. So now all my cav is gonna arrive. Sadly, the Razorgore herds are rampaging, so I can't control them. But I have a feral Manticores that I summoned recently, and they are gonna be able to attack the Demigryph Knights, kill some models, and help that engagement turn in our favor. The Centigores are arriving, and now we're gonna have Khazrak, a Manticore, some Razorgore, and that's a lot, even for 1 unit of Demigryph Knight, because they have some fire support, but in terms of melee, the Volkmar is just on his horse, and they have no other cav to be seen. Also, the Manticore, I send her directly against the Jade Wizard, so no more healing, at least for now, for the Empire. So that's gonna help us too. On this other flank, I finally remember these units. So while the Knights of the Blazing Sun are mocking like that, these Harpies broke the crossbowmen, and now these crossbowmen and Pistoliers are gonna be in danger because there are some units of Hounds and Centigores that managed to push through. Some Razorgore herds are coming back, and at this point, the balance of power isn't that much in my favor, but if you look, there isn't much the Empire can do. Most of their mobility is done, their Jade Wizard is broken, and I think at some point I will send someone to make sure they don't come back. I have a big surround on Volkmar that is just on a horse, so he doesn't have the most mass. He can't escape from Bestigors, Razorgores, and Khazrak. Some units are trying to come and support, but with Khazrak giving Apocalyptic Vision, even the Boar have 48 melee attacks, so they are gonna just finish that engagement, and the Bestigors have 65, so yeah. Emperor Knights and Knights of the Blazing Sun don't have the best defensive stats. I can't handle that type of beating. Now the balance of power is more and more decisively in my favor, and yeah. I mean, at this point you have 1 unit of Titled Crossbowmen in one flank, and that's pretty much it. Yes, Tico? You can't use Soul Quench here. Neither faction got it. So yeah, that big engagement was the last real one. I'm gonna make sure Volkmar is dead. For some reason we don't see the fact, but I think he's dead. He's not just shattered. Do we see his little body? Yeah, he's there. Look at him, he's glowing with Warpstone. Thank you, someone, for the follow. So yeah, now this is the end. And so wait, if I click end replay, will we see the? Will we? Yeah, we. Okay. So sorry, Moshimi.
So you lost. I'm trying to take all of this in, but I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I won. I won.
Oh, you won. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I won. And now I'm gonna explain why I think this build is good against Empire. Basically, the front line, like this, will be enough to hold against state troops for quite a while. Like with the Bestigor support, the Spearman herds will flee and come back. That's fine. You have 2 Razorgore herds. Their job mostly is if you have Volkmar or Boris in the sky, and they get a bit isolated. You use the mass over that Razorgore herds to stick them in place and avoid their cycle charging. The hounds, well, the hounds are utility unit. You need them at first to help you slow down the enemy cav, make sure that they can't escape your cav engagement, and also, so that's one of their job. And the second one, their job is gonna be chasing routing units and going after the cavalry. After the archers, you have these two Centigores that are like lag damage, not the great weapons. You don't want them fighting the cav, at least until the cav has taken a lot of damage. These guys are here specifically to like do the same as the hounds. So get to the back line, kill as much as possible without risking an engagement with the enemy cav, because what is gonna fight the enemy cav is your Centigores with great weapon. They trade okay with all Empire cav, except Jamie Griff Knight if they don't have a lot of support. And you have Kazrak and the Bray Shaman. Kazrak will give good buff and can kill models on Demigriffs. And like with the Manticore summon, you can win most engagement with just Centigores with Apocalyptic Vision and Kazrak. So I think that build has... and the Harpies, same. Like, if the enemy has artillery, you sacrifice them early to like stop the artillery from firing at your most important units until they get the right engagements and can shut them down. And if the enemy doesn't have artillery, well, then they act like hounds. They go after routing unit and after archers.
I think it looks good, but I think you can have problems against a more defensive build.
Yeah.
Sure, your Harpy shouldn't them for a bit, but then if they play their cav well and just countercharge you, you're not gonna get through all of those ranks of spears.
Yeah, so basically what you want, so that's why you have like, the idea is to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fast units, right? And the Empire, if they have a more defensive build, they'll have 2, maybe 3 units of cav, right? And the plan is they can't be everywhere at once. So if they are like fighting your Harpies, they are not stopping your Centigores from getting on the flank and preparing to get a charge. And the idea is to force them to either take a bad engagement against these guys with Kazrak and the Beastcaster with the Centigore summon, or to separate. And if they separate, even 2 Centigores can beat like 2 units of Centigores can beat Knights of the Blazing Sun. One will take the charge and die, but the other will beat them. This would struggle versus... Well, so... Bestigores can do okay there. And also, then you use your Harpies. If it's a Halberd box, you need your Harpies to do something specific. It's not going after the range. If it's a Halberd box, you use your Harpies and your Hounds to go after the Halberd, break their bracing bonus, and then you charge them with your Chariot Lords. And you can do okay, because Chariot Lords will beat Halberds if they are not braced. So it can do okay, and Bestigores will kill two units of Halberds. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting build. It can work. Lots of macro, but definitely possible.
Yeah. You need to be on a good micro there. And now I'm gonna show the second game. So it was on Enticity's ladder. The second game I did it against Leopard, because apparently everybody counterpicks me when I pick Tomb Kings, pick up Polgo High Elves, okay? So I have a build that is meant against that, and I have good results with it against pretty much everything. I don't think it's a groundbreaking build, this one at all.
No Titan? I'm disappointed.
What?
No Aero Titan. I'm disgusted.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't bring them there. Here's a Smire! Also, someone followed, I didn't even say their name. How rude of me. Golinos Twitch Show, thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. Okay, wait. Slow down. So here, I'm going for a pretty basic pick. I'm gonna go over my build first this time. So you have 2 units of Skeleton Horsemen. They are here to be on missions. If they have cav, they'll have to chase you like the War Lions of Trace in that case. They might be able to get you eventually, but they are 400. You just send them on Wild Goose Chase, and if they don't chase you, well, yes, they are crappy, they are bad, but they can still beat Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers in melee, or like slow down Sisters of Avalon. So 2 of them, just to be a menace and annoying. Front line of Skeleton Warriors, I think I have 2 of them, and then we have 4 units of Skeleton Spearmen to protect the sides, 2 units of Neckar Horsemen to like give some mass and number, either to protect against the enemy cav, or if they have a single entity that dives in to go after you Ushaptis, you can mug them up and send something else to deal with them. And finally, you have the 3 Ushapti Great Bows with the Chosen of the Gods. The Eyes of the Desert to do damage to single entities and large units. And for the Heroic... Oh, you have also 1 unit of melee Ushapti. So I like them because they can kill rangers. So like if it's a ranger heavy build, they will help in that instance. Your Skeleton Warriors will die a bit too fast, and you don't want that because even if they are crappy units, they are what protects your backline. So if you lose them, it's too early, you're gonna suffer. Ushaptis can push back rangers and equalize that fight a bit. Also, if like your Neckar Horsemen are busy somewhere else doing something, if it's for example a range heavy build and you want more troops to like go flanking your opponent, well you have this unit of Ushapti can do the job of surrounding a single entity diving on your Boshaptis and stopping them from doing more damage than you'd want to. And I think that's
it's also just good mass.
Yeah, exactly. They have good mass. They hit relatively strong. And so if sometimes, for example, you could use it if you expect like phoenixes. They can surround and beat up as phoenix if they want to.
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. This is that's my variation of I think a build that isn't groundbreaking against high elf. And see here, look at these little skeleton horsemen. They're doing their job. Like these white lines of Trace are chasing like a unit that costs nothing. Like one white line of Trace costs 2 skeleton horsemen, and there is 2 of them plus a noble chasing them. So they are gonna
mistake for your opponent.
Huh? Yeah, exactly. But that's the kind of thing like you want to do. So they have 2 Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, Titans of Torqualeda and the Sisters of Avalon. Mage of Life, which is interesting. Okay, I think the Mage of Life here is a mistake, because what do you really want to heal in that build? I'm not saying you can't go live, like you can't, yes, Sisters of Avalon can get a heal, Warlines of
Maybe
Trace too.
Alitina, but he doesn't want to take damage anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Also, like here, Alitina wanted to shoot at my Chosen of the Gods, so I stopped them and the Ushapti Great Bows took the shots. The Ushapti not Great Bows took the shot, so that was also... Their mass was useful there once again. And yeah, front line of Silvering Guards and Rangers, so way better than my front line. And yeah, Alitina has the Lord, and I think that's it. And you have the 2 Lions of Trace and a Noble on a horse. So yeah, I'm gonna try to take down the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, and if you can see, I have a little Arcan because I'm like, well, all their mobility is away. So what I'm gonna do, obviously, is bring Arcan on the side, and I'm gonna bring Arcan on the side and just summon the skeleton on the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, and that will be done. And they can't really stop me. Like the Wild Lions of Trace can kill, obviously, their skeletons, but they can't stop me for at least summoning them. Here the engagement on the front is taking place. Oh, also, yeah, I have a Lich Priest because I'm like, you know, it never hurts to be able to use a net, even if you have Arcan. So yeah, here again there is a hole, so I'm gonna try, I think after a time I'm gonna send my Skeleton Spearman through it. And now these little guys already broke 1 Bolt Thrower and gonna go after the second. Frontline engagement, not going too well for me, but that's to be expected. Arcan, well, he did his summon, so he can go now. Oh, there was a heal for them somewhere. I'm not quite sure where they used the heal, but that did some damage to the Mage of Life. Now I'm gonna switch the Great Bowfire to the White Lines of Phrase because that's the enemy mobility. If I deal with it, I'll be better. And Spirit Leech on units that have low model counts are okay. And, like, I could Spirit Leech the Noble or Arcane the Black or Alitina, but I went for the
Spirit
White
Leech
Lions.
yourself.
What?
Spirit Leech yourself. Yes.
Yes, yeah. So now, there you go. So now I have one unit of Nagar Horseman and one unit of Skeleton Warriors that are coming back. Also, the Skeleton Warriors, they are bad, but they can add numbers to your Nagar Horseman and allow them to win engagement they wouldn't otherwise. Here, the fact that I have some Ushaptis has been allowing that flank to hold a bit longer. Oh, yeah, a Noble engaged, nated, and, well, you know, Cumstered and dumpstered, as we say. So yeah, now like the Nikar Horseman and Skeleton Horseman are engaging the White Lines of Phrase and breaking them. At this point, I'm pretty confident. The worry you always have in that situation is, do I have enough to kill all these Silvering Guards with what I have left? I might not. Wait, Mushiman, that's normal, but Wiki.
No, sorry, chat, sorry.
Wicked. Am I not clear? Maybe I'm not clear. Raptor, am I clear?
I've just never seen.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. It's really complicated.
Yeah, no, you I completely understand, but Wicked said the same. Oh, I am clear. Okay, it was a meme. Okay, I just want to be, because I'm gonna probably upload them to YouTube, so I want to make sure that I'm somewhat clear.
Mm-hmm.
So here, 1 unit of Silverine managed to pass through. Once again, I net them, and I'm gonna use the last ammunition of the Chosen of the God to try to do damage to them, with limited results, apparently.
I disagree a bit on using the ammo on that unit of Silverine, because you got one full health unit in it around the forest, which has the models more closely packed. So better use
Oh yeah, no, you're
ammo.
right. It would have been a better target actually. I just was hoping I could break them before they until at the end of the what's the word? At the end of the net, but it didn't work. So yeah, I'm making sure that all their backline is definitely offline, so I can focus on what's left of the Silvering Guard. That unit of Rangers is gonna be annoying. And now I'm like, maybe I can go after Alita now. I'm gonna try to. At that point, also I have my Ushapti summon, but I have decided to not use it just yet. I'm keeping it for like the very end game in case I need the balance of power to shift a bit more. So I'm keeping it in my back pocket because I don't feel like I'm losing right now like any important engagement. So I'd rather keep it for later. Second summon on the Silvering Guard, this of Skeleton Warriors, can't hurt.
That's the right play, I think.
Yeah. I never managed to get more than 2 with Arcane. Like, you have 5 available, but 2 is kind of the maximum I managed to do.
Yeah, 2, 3, you can't really get more, unless it's a really long battle.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm gonna try to, like, cycle charge these Rangers. And now I go for the Ushapti summon because I'm like, oh, the balance of power is, like, in my favor, but not that much. If I kill Alithina, could that be enough to give me the victory? Like, bring them to army losses. So that's the plan.
The last threat to your lord as well.
What?
Alithina is the last threat to Arcane.
Yeah, exactly. I also have tons of magic because that leader duder, he has like the scroll that gives him more magic, and Arcane has his staff. So you have a lot of magic with these two guys together. Even if the net is pretty expensive, you're fine. My Ushapti Great Bows, I think they are having troubles. I want them to shoot at that unit of Silvering Guards, but they were like having trouble making contact, basically. Because I have nothing to shoot at. They are not Silvering Guard and infantry in general isn't the best to shoot at with Ushaptis, but what else? It's all that's left. So.
Yep.
now I'm gonna send Arcan to help, because even though he's not the best combatant, he still have decent weapon strength with 450 against like 40 armor Alicinar. That will be enough. And yeah, now that Arcan is there, Alicinar is gonna get broken, and my opponent will throw the towel, because yes, they still had, I think, 2 units of Silver Guard fighting, but there was no way they would survive this.